Hi everybody, and welcome to Lost Genre Reddit Stories. On this video, I've got posts from relationship advice with an update, malicious compliance, and petty revenge. So if you want to get started with the stories, then just use the timestamps below the video. Of course, now I'd like to thank all of you that support me by either being YouTube members, Twitch subscribers, or donating in the live streams. Thank you so much, your support means a lot to me. And if this is the first time watching one of my videos and you like it, then consider subscribing to the channel and joining us on Discord. Now let's get started with today's stories. This post is from the subreddit Relationship Advice and it's from user Throwaway Shorty. Husband wanted an open marriage and is now mad at me for seeing someone. We, female 22 and male 25, have been married for 2 years and together for almost 6. Yet, beginning of last year, he told me he has room in his heart for more than one woman and is a man for more than one partner. He wanted an open marriage. It was so hard for me to agree to it, but the minute I did, he started seeing this beautiful, attractive girl. I can't even explain how painful it was to know that I'm not enough for him, that he's spending time with someone else. And he did. From spending nights with her to texting her when we were supposed to be spending time together. I'd literally cry myself to sleep every night while he was with her or home sleeping after hanging out with her. I even met someone, but I just couldn't open up to that guy because of how much I love my husband. I finally gave in a few months ago. I started letting the new guy take me on dates, to his place, etc. He's been so good to me, and that's all I needed after feeling like I'm not enough for my husband. I feel attractive and worthy again. Last month, new guy took me out of town for my birthday weekend. A happy birthday text is all I got from my husband. Since that, it's like my husband suddenly realized that we're married. He wants to spend time together, gets jealous when I'm not home. Now, he's saying he wants a baby, which I'm not against, but I would like to wait until our relationship is more stable. Well, he disagrees. He thinks that I'm prioritizing my boyfriend over our relationship and family, and that's not what an open marriage is about. He's now wanting to stop everything and go back to being monogamous. I'm not ready for that. He got to decide when this started. Why does he get to decide when it ends? Why did he wait until I started being happy again? Sorry for the long post or rant, but any advice? Well, OP, the one piece of advice that I would give you is don't get pregnant. Not at this moment at all, and not with your husband the way he's behaving. He pushed you into an open marriage. You were against it at first, but he wore you down. As soon as you agreed, he had someone already there lined up to start doing his open marriageness. But when you start enjoying it, when you meet someone and you have a boyfriend under the same rules that he wanted, now he has a problem with it, now he wants a baby, now he wants to go back to monogamous. I personally do not agree with open marriages, but if you guys want to have one, that's your prerogative, you get to do that. But there should be certain rules to it, and one rule should be you can't get jealous. I know that jealousy is a feeling, but if you're willing to enter an open relationship, then you need to understand and come to terms with that really means. An open relationship is not about just one partner running around having fun with as many people as they want, but their partner can do that as well. Sounds to me like your husband didn't really want an open marriage. He just wanted to openly cheat on you and, have you on the side or have you wait for him until he was done doing whatever he wanted to do. If that is the case, then you really need to think about your relationship and your future. And whatever happens there is something that needs to be talked between you and your husband. But the one thing that I would not do is bring a child into your life right now. And what do you guys think? What would your advice be for OP? Let me know in the comment section, and now let's move on with the community comments to see what they had to say. Lemon Bomb says, I know this sub has a bad reputation for jumping right to break up, but to be blunt, I'm not sure what else to say here. To be honest, I probably would have ended it as soon as the open relationship came up in the first place. Your husband has been totally selfish, and I kinda get the impression that it has justifiably changed the way you see him. I don't know if this is salvageable. OP responds, honestly, I should have ended things then, but I didn't want to get a divorce a year after getting married and throw away 5 years of a relationship. I really thought we'd make it work. QAthk says, I think your marriage is dead. I don't see how it could recover from this. Your husband's selfishness has caused you to cry yourself to sleep. I don't know why you would want to go back to that. You are young and could start with someone who you are enough for. You have already found a new boyfriend. Please don't have a child with your husband. I suspect he would use it to trap you and keep you at home while he found his next girlfriend. OP responds, yeah, I'm not having a baby. Not right now. I'm still hurt by what he did and I can't trust that he won't hurt me again. Ginora for Prez says, boy, bye. He wanted to open the relationship so he could fool around and he probably thought you wouldn't take advantage of the situation. He thought he could have his cake and eat it too. If this new guy is the one making you feel appreciated and attractive, what is your current husband actually bringing to the table? So, the community seems to think that this is the end for OP's relationship and she should just move on. And even though I usually try to advocate for couples working through their problems and staying together, I don't feel like that's something I can suggest to OP based on the information that she's shared with us. I believe the husband is acting out of jealousy and not out of love, and the commenter's theory about him wanting the baby to tie her down so that then he can go and look for his next girlfriend doesn't seem too far-fetched, so I would definitely encourage OP to review her relationship and see if she wants to stay in it. Anyways, OP has given us an update, so let's continue with that to see what happened after this. Well, I was going to wait until this weekend to have a talk with my husband about getting a divorce. I wanted to think things through before ending this 6-year relationship. I still took my distances, stopped having sex and hanging out with him. I've barely talked to him since my last post and even refused his gifts. So, guess what he did yesterday? Went to new guy's office and tried to get into a fight with him, yelling and screaming about how new guy sleeps with married women and should be ashamed of himself, making it seem like new guy was helping me cheat on my husband, which is not the case because open marriage, right? New guy is now pissed. He says he wants to be with me but doesn't want to have to deal with a crazy husband or soon-to-be ex. He wants to take a break until I get things figured out with my husband. How am I supposed to do that though? Still planning on getting a divorce, but I can't control my husband? Could this be his way of dumping me? So much drama and so much to think about. Any advice? Well, OP, I would say that you definitely now need to leave your husband, get a divorce, and you know what? Your new boyfriend or your new ex-boyfriend, whatever you want to call him, is absolutely right. He's removing himself from a drama situation, which this whole thing is. If I was your new boyfriend, I'd probably want to get away from this whole thing as well. The fact that your husband showed up at his office to pick a fight and start screaming and portraying him like somebody who would sleep with a married woman, that's just absolutely wrong, and it further shows how immature and ridiculous your husband is. I don't think this is your new boyfriend's way of dumping you, but definitely putting some distance between him and this whole situation. You need to sort that thing out. You need to sort your relationship and your divorce out before you get into another relationship. And no, you can't control your husband, but the new guy can definitely get a restraining order for harassment or something like that if your husband continues with this behavior, right? In this moment, OP, the one thing you cannot do is be passive. If you want something, get it done. If you want a divorce from your husband, get it done. If you want to be with your new boyfriend, then do what you have to do in order for him to be at ease to be with you. Now, in the comment section for the update, OP says that she could have handled things a little bit differently, of course, but that she is definitely getting a divorce. So hopefully she follows through. And now we move on with the next post. This post is from the subreddit Malicious Compliance and it's by user ThePotatoFairy95. Ex-boss accused me of reporting him, so I did. I worked for his small company for 6 weeks at the end of 2020. It was landscape architecture. He sacked me with no real explanation when I was off sick with COVID. I have undiagnosed, highly suspected ADHD, so I wasn't massively surprised. It affects my job performance. but I was surprised by the timing and the fact that it was via email. I asked for more clarity. I was never rude to him, I just told him I wished he'd called me so I could get some feedback. He got really mad and proceeded to write a long list of my over-exaggerated and some false shortcomings, e.g. too slow, distracted, stuff he never mentioned at the time. He then said, "If you want to take legal action against me, let me know." I didn't, I left it and moved on. Fast forward to today. He just called my mobile from a private number asking how I was. I was taken aback as we have had no communication since. He said, "Someone has put in a report I'm using unlicensed software. Was it you? Because I know we left on bad terms." I said, "I've no idea what you're talking about." He made it seem I was devastated he sacked me, lol, and would have good reason to report him. No matter what I said, he was convinced it was me. He even accused my dad, who works in IT. I didn't even know he was using unlicensed software. I said, "I feel like you're unfairly accusing me here." He raised his voice and shouted, "Why do you always play the victim? Stop playing the victim." Probably in reference to the fact I questioned the way he sacked me. It sounded so rehearsed, I honestly had to hold back laughter. Then he said, "I'm not accusing you, but did you do it? LMAO. Looking back, I believe it was unlicensed. We only ever used the student version of Autodesk, which is illegal when you're running a business. This, combined with his accusation, tells me he is in fact breaking the law. I was so pissed off by his accusation, I reported him to both Autodesk and the BSA. He'll have to run an audit and likely face a huge fine. He thinks I did it either way, so what harm can one more report do? Winky face. OP's edit. For all you sad trolls, I didn't complain because he sacked me. I just questioned the way he did it. A simple phone call would have been better than an email. When you're fired, you have a right to ask for feedback, and that's easier to do in conversation, best in person. I literally didn't have a problem when he sent a list of my shortcomings. I just accepted it and moved on. I also take full accountability for it. The ADHD played a part, but I'm still to blame for losing the job. At no point did I ever say I shouldn't have been sacked. If you actually bothered to read the whole post, you wouldn't be making that assumption. I was just pissed he pointed the finger at me for the report. Also, I love this mentality that because I'm a graduate, I'm a little bitch and bosses can never be in the wrong. You've clearly never had a job to not know that. Now F off. Also, my dad does not work there. Like I already said, he's a software engineer, not a landscape architect. So stop suggesting I threw him under the bus. In regards to the ADHD, I didn't know I had it until recently, although I haven't been officially diagnosed. Waiting on that. My doctor highly suspects I have it. Thank you to everyone who has offered me advice. Smiley face. Well, OP, like you said, you were already being accused of something you didn't do, so why not do it then, right? It's like Double Jeopardy. Anybody seen that movie? But yeah, he was breaking the law and he accused you point blank of being the one who reported him. You weren't, but you know, then you did, so you should thank him for that. And now we move on to the next post. This post is from the subreddit Petty Revenge and it's from user Oaknog. Yell at me for over saucing my pizza? Enjoy drowning in your own saucy hell. I make pizza for my family about every 2 weeks. One pizza for me, one for my brother, one for my parents. I enjoy my pizza with a decent amount of sauce. But because I always decorate my pizza first, I never add as much as I want to, so that I know there's enough for everyone. Well, the last few times I've noticed that we have been leaving a whole half jar afterwards, when it's too late to add any more to my pizza, and it is inevitably thrown out after a week of no one eating it. So today, I decided that I would sauce my pizza to my heart's content. My brother added his normal sauce intake, then I added mine with a few more spoonfuls than normal. Cue yelling and screaming from all 3 family members. Yes, yelling and screaming over sauce, about how selfish I was for not leaving enough for my parents. I note to them that there is still half a jar and we never use it all anyways. but this fell on deaf ears. One thing to note, my family is infamously proud and stubborn, and I do not say this in admiration. Living among them, you learn how to manipulate these quirks to your advantage. I did not appreciate being aggressively yelled at, especially because sauce of all things. I knew all I needed to do to get back at them was say one sentence. One sentence and it would all be over. I don't get why you're upset. There is no way you are going to use up the rest of that sauce. My mother looks me dead in the eyes as she dumps the whole jar on the pizza. She has fallen for the trap. I smirk. By the time they're done spreading the sauce, it's just one thick sea of red, taunting them in their hubris. I see the horror in their faces. They know it's way too much, but they'll never admit it. When it comes out of the oven, the sauce has overflowed all over the pan. Lord only knows what the oven looks like. Their first slice with the pizza cutter sends sauce flying in all directions. You can hear the great pizza god laugh. And the piece of resistance? My father picking up the first slice and the cheese sliding right off in cartoonish fashion. They stare in silent anger, trapped in their saucy prison of their own making. As I type this, my parents are eating their scalding tomato sauce soup that contains some soggy dough and cheese, while I sit victoriously eating my delicious and perfectly sauced pizza. Oh, good job, OP! Don't you just love some very well used verbal judo? You used their own weakness against them. Smart move, man. Congratulations. Totally petty, with satisfying on the side. And it's that time that we've reached the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed today's stories. I certainly did reading them to you. So if you did, then go ahead and give the video a like. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel and become a member of our Discord community that just keeps growing, and it is fantastic. And like I said in the beginning of the video, all of the relevant links are in the video description below, so be sure to check them out. And finally, I'd like to thank you all for taking the time to watch this video. It really does mean a lot to me that you guys enjoy this content, so thank you once again. And having said all that, I will see you guys in the next video.